वेलकम बैक टू माई चैनल एंड आज के इस वीडियो में हम लोग बात करेंगे MCO 04 की बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट एंड देखते हैं कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस जो आपको करके जाने चाहिए फॉर दिस जून 2025 एग्जाम. Okay, from Unit 1, Dimensions of Business Environment, you should revise, explain the emerging scenario in business environment in India. So you can write all these 6 points to explain the answer. You can also learn on environmental scanning. You can get a short note on this, maybe a question of 10 marks. Fine. So from Unit 2, Social Cultural Environment. What is social cultural environment and explain its important components or elements. So as we know, this social cultural environments possess a lot of elements like culture, language, religion, literacy, and like that. So there are 7 points. You can add few more of this if you get 20 marks question from here. Okay. From Unit 3, Social Responsibility of Business, another important chapter for this MCO 04. You should learn what is social responsibility of business and describe why it is important, and also the drawbacks or disadvantages of being socially responsible for a business firm. So you can mention all these points here. Fine. The next question is describe the various dimensions of social responsibility towards stakeholders. So as we know, all stakeholders like shareholders, employees, consumers, government, bankers. So all these stakeholders should be taken care of by the business firm to achieve social responsibility. Okay, from this particular unit, you can revise this question also. What are the various approaches to social accounting and reporting? One of the very important question it looks like for this June exam. Do revise this properly. From Unit 4, Political Environment, you should revise the different components of political environment. All these 4 components you can describe in your answer, like political system, political processes, political stability, foreign trade relations, and employment laws. From Unit 5, Regulatory Policies and Framework. And here, this particular question, describe the government regulatory policies till 1990. I mean 1950 to 1990, all these 40 years, what were the important policies of the Indian government, and after that, from 1991, how the policies were framed and how the NEP policy was introduced in India. So this question also stands out for your exam. Do mention this liberalization, globalization, and privatization concept in the new economic reforms of 1991. Fine. A short note you can work out on Sale of Goods Act 1930, a very old act, and on the Arbitration Act 1940. Both these acts were framed during the British rule, so still now they are very popular. From Unit 6, Corporate Laws, Part 1, here you can get a short note on SICA, Sikh Industrial Companies Act 1985, which was created to improve the condition of Sikh industries and what were the important objectives of this act. From Unit 7, Corporate Laws, Part 2, and here IDRA, you can get a short note on this. Industrial Development Regulation Act of 1951, its objectives, its important provisions. Okay. One more very important question, that is MRTP Act 1969, its important objectives and the important parts of this act like RTP and MRTP, so like that. One difference you can work out between MTP and RTP. Okay, the next important question, that is the important provisions of the Competition Act 2002. So what were the main objectives you can describe, like prohibition of anti-competition agreements, abuse of dominant positions, and like that. So these are the important objectives of this particular act. Okay, next very important question, Competition Commission of India, its duties, its powers, its functions, As we know that this is basically formed to control the competition in India. Fine. The next important question, state the important rights given to Consumer Protection Act 1986 and explain how consumer can make complaint under this act. So these are the 6 important rights given to consumers according to this act. And this is the process how a consumer can file a complaint in the consumer courts if he gets exploited. Okay. One short note on Essential Commodities Act 1955. So this question is also very important. Okay. Unit 8, labor legislations, and from here what are the main important provisions relating to health, safety and welfare under Factory Act 1948. Again a very old act, and you should mention how it like what are the provisions relating to the health of the employees and what are the provisions towards the safety of the employees, and the important provisions relating to workers welfare, like working hours and all that. So everything is mentioned in this act, so you just need to revise this properly. Again, one more important question, a short note on Workmen Compensation Act 1923, and you can be asked to write a short note on this. Fine. From this unit, the most important question is what you can see on your screen, that is workers' participation in management, and what are the different schemes through which workers can participate in the management. One of the very important question for this June 2025 exams. Okay. Next question from Unit 9, Financial Market, and we haven't get questions in December 24 from this particular unit, so you might get question from here. What are the important functions of financial market, and the important deficiencies of money market in India, and what measures have been taken by the government to improve the condition of money market in India. So these are the problems, and then you will write the different measures taken by the government to improve the money market. Okay. From Unit 10, a difference you can work out between primary and secondary market, and the next for 10 marks question, what are the different methods of making a fresh issue of shares or securities in the capital market. So how company issues, what are the steps that it takes. So these things you can mention in your answer. The next question is explain the important functions of stock exchange and why it is important for companies and investors. So separately you can be asked, very important question. And this is in fact we have done this in the previous classes also in the college and school level. These are all the importance to the investors and companies. Fine. The next question. Describe the various reforms introduced by the government to promote and regulate stock market in India. So this is also a very interesting question, and in fact lot of steps are taken by SEBI to protect investors' interest, and so also the companies. So there are a lot of reforms introduced here. From Unit 11, regulation of capital market. From here you should explain the important functions of SEBI and its structure and functions in relation to stock exchanges in India. So these are the important functions, like the first category is protective function, then we have regulatory and development function. This is the structure that you need to explain, and the different powers and duties of SEBI in relation to stock exchanges. From Unit 13, structure of Indian economy, one very simple question is here, why India is an underdeveloped economy. So a lot of reasons we can write for this particular question. So I have just written 8 only. Okay, one difference you can work out between economic growth and economic development, you can get it in the difference. And the next is the public sector enterprises, its roles or functions or importance or significance in an Indian economy. So there are a lot of important functions here for public sector enterprises, so you can mention that in your answer. From Unit 14, I have skipped few units, so be careful about this. Then Unit 14, economic planning. What is the rationale behind economic planning, and what are the important objectives with reference to India? So this question you can work out for the exam. Fine. The next question, there are a lot of points in this. Unit 15, economic policies. You got one question from here in December 2024, but you can revise this question. The important provisions of Industrial Policy Resolution Act 1956. You might have done this in the previous classes also. Not an unknown question for you. Okay, IPR. And the next question, what are the important objectives of monetary policies? So these four important objectives you can highlight in your answer. So price stability, healthy balance between balance of payments, full employment of resources, and high economic growth. So these are the four important objectives of monetary policies. From Unit 16, small scale industries or enterprises, and this is a very common chapter. Every year we get a question from this particular chapter, so be prepared for this. You can learn this one, the rationale behind SSI in India and the institutional framework set up to promote SSI in India. So small scale industries, in fact, they play a very important role in India, and these are the institutions which help these industries to grow, like SIDCO, SISI, SIDBI. So these three institutions work to promote this. From Unit 17, economic reforms, and here you should do what are the objectives of privatization, which was introduced in 1991 as an economic reform, and in what way we can do privatization, and the important advantages of privatization. So these are the objectives and the ways of privatization. You can mention these two: transfer of ownership directly or by disinvestments, and also the advantages. Fine. The next question from this unit, describe the important provisions of trade policy reforms introduced by the government in India. So this question is also important and should be learned by the students. Okay. Then we have from balance of payment, Unit 18, and exim policy. And what are the different export promotion measures undertaken by the government to improve or to promote foreign trade in India? And then we have the next one, like what are the various acts or legal frameworks governing the foreign trade in India? So these four acts are more important to promote foreign trade in India, and you just write the main objectives of these acts. So describe this. Then we have a question on BOP, balance of payment, and what are the steps taken to correct the disequilibrium in balance of payment. So this is also a very common question for this MCO 4, and there are a lot of methods or steps taken by the government to to improve the balance of payment. What difference you can work out between BOT and BOP, and a short note on special economic zones. So you can write the meaning of this, then objectives, then features. So like that. Fine. The next is from Exim, Export Import Bank of India. You can get a short note on this, or maybe a question of 10 marks, and they will ask you about to write the different important functions of Exim Bank. You can get a short note on FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act in India. Okay. The next, Unit 19, Globalization and WTO. What is globalization, and what is its role in a country like India? Or you may be asked to write the advantages of globalization for India. Okay. The next question is on WTO, the important functions and objectives of establishment of World Trade Organizations. So this is also a very common question as far as MCO 04 is concerned. And you can get a short note to write on GATT, the General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, which is also a part of WTO initiative, and you can also mention the important principles of GATT. Then TRIPS. So this is also a very common question. Trade related investment measures. You can get a short note on this, or maybe from TRIPS, trade related intellectual property rights. So as far as foreign trade is concerned, this organization plays a very important role in the world trade. Again, a short question, that is Indian Patent Act 1970, its important features or objectives that you can mention. Then on IPR, intellectual property rights. So you can get a short note to write on this too. Fine. Let's move on to Unit 20, Foreign Investment and Collaboration. This is also a very important chapter for this MCO 24 4. And from here, briefly explain the role of FDI in economic development of India, and also mention the drawbacks of FDI in cases of India. So these are all the advantages of FDI, like giving employment, economic growth and development, human resource development. So like that, there are so many advantages of FDI in a country like India, but it has some limitations also. So you can get it for 20 marks. So this question must be revised for the exam. From Unit 21, Technological Environment, and you should learn from here what is transfer, technology transfer, and what are the different forms of technology transfer. And you can be asked to mention the problems faced by technological transfer. So technological transfer generally done by TNC or MNC, and these are the different problems that you can mention. Fine. The next question, how does industrial development pose a threat to an economy? So whenever every activity has some side effects, so this technological revolution which is going on in this world also poses some type of challenges and issues or threats. So the main threat is environment pollution. So you can mention these 6 points to write your answer. One short note on social cost benefit analysis. So this one also you can get it in the exam. So these are few most important questions that you should revise for this exam. I hope you get questions from here, and this video will give you some sorts of benefits to prepare for the exam. Thank you very much for watching this video.